everybody, welcome to yet another one of these shorter videos for the MMA Outsiders. I am Tom Albano, as always. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified of everything here at the Empty the Bench Network. Make sure to follow us across social media, Facebook, X, and Instagram at MMA Outsiders ETB. Follow the Empty the Bench Podcast Network at ETB Network on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm Tom Albano. You can find my work over at Fansided MMA. You can also find my work over at the website for the Professional Fighters League, the PFL, which as of the day that this is going up, we have the PFL Europe playoff card that's going on in Paris. In a couple of months, we're going to have on Black Friday the PFL Championships card here in the U.S. in Washington, D.C. And then there's going to be a PFL Europe Championships card in December. I'll be on top of all that. So find my work there, and you can follow me on social media at Thomas J. Albano. So I told you there were going to be a series of 3 videos this week for the MMA Outsiders in place of a full episode. Hopefully, Zan will be available to make a return to the podcast this coming week, so we can get a normal episode, which would be episode 55, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 55. That would be on Tuesday morning. But for now, sticking with the topics that we have been talking about. So we recapped last weekend's cards earlier this week. Just a couple of days ago, we talked about UFC 295 and UFC 296, the idea of no Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Although I just read a thing that apparently Conor McGregor went on some podcast and said, oh no, he's still hopeful for December. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But for right now, I want to make a quick video here. I don't know how long this is going to be. It's probably going to be the shortest of these bunch of videos, just because I want to talk about tonight's big fight, the undisputed super middleweight championship on the line. Canelo Alvarez, one of the boxing's greats of today, of all time, who has all the gold at super middleweight, will defend all 4 of his 168-pound alphabet championships against one Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo is the undisputed junior middleweight champion. Although technically this should not be an undisputed versus undisputed title fight like it's being promoted, because Jermell Charlo is going to be stripped of one of his junior middleweight championships. I believe it's the WBO. You got Tim Tszyu, who he was originally supposed to fight. Charlo versus Tszyu had been delayed for some time because of injury to Charlo, and then he takes this more lucrative fight, which I can't blame him, but at the same time, you know, we got to keep moving. The division got to keep moving. So Tim Tszyu is now he's going to compete on this card. I think of the co-main event against Brian Mendoza for that junior middleweight championship. Yeah, that will happen on this card. But right now I just want to focus on Canelo versus Jermell. Originally, it was supposed to be Jermell Charlo. That's when this fight was originally being reported. It was going to be Jermell Charlo, the other twin. However, Jermell is, I don't want to say stepping in his place, but he's the one who got the fight. We haven't seen Jermell Charlo since June 19th of 2021, when he retained the WBC middleweight title against Juan Matiel. And I don't even know if Jermell Charlo is still the WBC middleweight champion, or if they finally stripped him of the title. If they haven't stripped him of the title, it's been over 2 years at this point. Oh yeah, no, it's still the WBC middleweight champion, which completely shocks me that he's been inactive for 2 years. How are you going to hold that division up and just not strip him and then have a new champion determined in a vacant title fight? It baffles me. But nevertheless, Jermell Charlo is going to get this opportunity. It's a big opportunity for him, the biggest of his career. Also, I know Jermell and Jermall are not on very good terms right now, it seems. However, my best to Jermall with whatever issues that he is going through. So let's talk about this fight here. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez is the defending champ. He's been more active. We haven't seen Jermell Charlo since May of 2022, the second of those two very entertaining fights with Brian Castano over the WBO light middleweight title. So that's how he became the undisputed champion at that weight class. You look at the tail of the tape, both men at 33 years old. Alvarez coming into this fight with a 3-inch height disadvantage and a 2.5 inch reach disadvantage, but obviously he's a more experienced. He has about 20 more knockouts than Charlo, and dare I say, well, dare I say? I mean, it's ridiculous, Tom. Canelo has faced a better competition. Gennady Golovkin, Billy Joe Saunders, Sergey Kovalev, Daniel Jacobs. He has clearly faced the better competition. Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan, far and away better. That being said, Canelo Alvarez in the last year or so just has not looked like the Canelo Alvarez of old. He has not looked like the guy who, we saw run through Rocky Fieldings. He's not the guy that we saw have that war, those couple of wars with Gennady Golovkin, and then the third fight was just an absolute joke, in my opinion. Regardless, Canelo Alvarez has, this is not the Canelo Alvarez who took on Floyd Mayweather in September of 2013, over about a decade ago, almost exactly a decade ago. Well, actually, it's a little over a decade ago now. And that was the sole loss of his entire career up until the fight with Dmitry Bivol, which he did not look good in. Regardless, now he has won 2 straight. The win over Golovkin, the trilogy fight, defeated John Ryder in a title defense back in May, and now here we are. Let's see. He has not. So he has went the distance in his last 2 fights. We haven't seen him get a knockout, some form of finish, since the fight with Caleb Plant when he became the IBF super middleweight champion to fully become the undisputed champ at 168 pounds. And even in that fight, it took him till the 11th round to get the stoppage. The one that had me scratching my head was a few years ago when he was fighting Sergey Kovalev for the light heavyweight title. I thought, as the fight was going on, oh, did he make a mistake? And then he just turned it up late, got the knockout in the 11th round. And ever since then, I mean, like I said, he's still getting the wins. He's still a championship caliber fighter, but it feels like there's been a bit of a step back for Canelo. Granted, like I said, he's still one of the best. And Jermell Charlo, I mean, like I said, he had those couple of wars with Brian Castano. He had the knockout of Jason Rosario in September 2020. Had those couple of fights with Tony Harrison. Won a very, very controversial decision, which I still am baffled by to this day. But you know what? I'd say that I'm baffled. But as we say in this sport, boxing gets in its own way. But that being said, Jermell Charlo is still talented, but he hasn't been fighting. His activity isn't as great as Canelo's. Canelo's competition is straightly better. The one concern though is I saw somebody showing on social media about Canelo maybe leaving his body open a little bit so Jermell can display some power shots to that body, and that's a real possibility. But you know what? I think even if Canelo's power isn't as good as it once was, I think it is still there. I think Canelo is still a talented and tactical fighter, and it is going to be a tactical fight here for Canelo. It is not going to be an all-out war. Canelo Alvarez is a very strategic fighter. And that being said, I definitely think that Canelo is coming out on top in this one. I don't know if he's going to get the knockout, but I think Jermell Charlo is going to put up a great effort, but I think this is just far and away Canelo. Give me Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision to retain the super middleweight championship. And then we'll see what happens from there. All right. Also, yes, I know there is another story in boxing that's very big that we reported on the MMA Outsiders social media accounts, but let's wait for Zan. Let's wait for Zan. Let's wait for an actual episode, and we'll discuss it there. So stay tuned on Tuesday morning for episode 55, where we will discuss the reports of Fury versus Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship. We will discuss that then. For now, I want to thank you all for putting up with these shorter videos this week. Like I said, hopefully Zan is back on Tuesday. We can have a full episode where we will recap Charlo versus Canelo. We'll talk about this Fury Usyk thing, and we'll preview the big Bellator 300 card. So until then, make sure that the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified of everything here at the Empty Bench Network. Make sure to follow us across social media at MMA Outsiders, ETB, Facebook, X, Instagram. And make sure to follow the network at ETV Network, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, I'm Tom Albano. Find my work over at Fanside MMA. Find my work on the PFL website. You can follow me on social media at Thomas J. Albano. So until then, I'm Tom. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and see you Tuesday for episode 55. Enjoy the fight tonight.